All right, man. This is the beginning of the podcast. This is episode 1, Wreaking Havick. How you feeling?
Man, episode 1. It doesn't feel real, to be honest.
What do you mean?
Because we've done so much in the last 6 months and have scaled this business to where we've made some profit. And now we're doing a podcast so we can talk about what it means to start a business. That's insane.
Yeah, I agree. So the reason that we started this podcast is because we both got sick. We both got sick of every time you looked up on YouTube how to do anything business related at all, everyone was just being like, "Oh, running a business is so easy. What are you doing? Why aren't you making millions? Start your LLC and the money just pours in.
They're liars.
Taxes, just do it yourself. First of all, I just got done with our taxes. And now that we've made enough money to pay someone, I'm never doing it again. Do not TurboTax your business.
Yeah.
Hire someone.
Yeah.
Even if you make no profit, get it out of your own money. Pay someone else to do it. You don't want to mess around with the IRS. But the reason we started the podcast is because we just got tired of everyone saying that it was easy when it was the exact opposite. So we were like, you know what would be great if someone got on and literally just told it like it was. Every day's a challenge. Every day you struggle to get inspiration and balance things love life, regular life, family life, home life, and balance your 9-to-5 career until this takes off. And it's just someone needs to be able to say that without having this social media filter on. So that's why we're here.
All of that plus 1,000. Listen, when we first started, and I was like, well, how do you do sales tactics? How do I reach out to people? And they said, you got to do all this other shit. And I'm like, okay. And they talking about a permission-based opener. It's I learned so much technical stuff. I'm like, and then I implemented it, and I said, this is horrible. Who wants to do this? But then, there's some creators out there who do give, good value. I'm not going to name any of them. But some of them do. And what I realized that the success that we had was really just being ourselves. So, no matter what you learn, your business and the success that you're going to have really just comes from your own drive. No matter what research you do, your strategy, what you're commenting, how many times you're posting, it comes from you. And that's the biggest thing. This is no filter. If you keep going and grinding, you'll be successful. It's that simple, but it's not that easy. There's a difference.
Yeah. But all right. So before we get that was a juicy bit. Before we get too deep, we're going to introduce who we are because you clicked on this podcast. I want you to know who we are. All right. Would you like to introduce yourself first?
I guess I'm going first. My name is Kellis Woods, born and raised here in Houston, Texas, and I am the CCO, Chief Creative Officer for our company, Havick.
I am Greg Grady. I do the same thing. I'm not the CCO. I am the CEO. I am the one who makes sure we don't go to jail and to make sure we stay in good business standing with Texas, the United States. Taxes, all the boring stuff, and making sure we have processes for stuff to get done. That's me.
Processes.
So between the two of us, we got a whole idiot running the company.
Yeah, basically. He's all oh, Kellis, we should do this, we do that. I'm like, well, why don't we just do this? Okay, what about this idea? What is this idea? And I end up doing it. He's like, why don't you just stick with one? That's him.
A lot of our dynamic when we're doing a typical business day is Kellis coming at me with a bunch of creative ideas and me having to be the wet blanket and be like, all right, how does this benefit the business in the long run? How is this going to be continuous? If we start this the podcast, which I think that was a mutual effort.
Yeah.
But we have to know how far we can take this. We already wrote out the first year's worth of episode.
Yeah, easy.
So it's just we have a long-term plan for this one. So that's my job, making sure this has longevity to it.
And I'm just here to make jokes.
Exactly. All right, man. What do we do for a living, man?
What do I do for a living?
Yeah.
So I am currently a multimedia strategist and a social media influencer, apparently. As much as I'm posting on our Instagram every single day, which you guys should check out because our content's getting better, we're learning stuff, all of that. But what I do day in and day out is that I create videos for a company I work for. They're like, Kellis, hey, we need this for our marketing strategy. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you need? They're like, I don't know. I'm like, typical. So then I'm sitting there going to this guy, going to that guy, figuring out what this long technical thing is, and then I make a video on it. And they're like, this is great. I'm like, okay. And that's what I do every day. And I am over it. I don't want to keep doing it. I'm tired of listening to people, but this is just real. Imagine you wake up and it's 7 a.m. and someone's messaging you, hey, do you have this video? Hey, can you check on this? You're like, can I eat my breakfast?
Exactly. Can I eat my burrito? I just woke up. It's 10 a.m. I just woke up.
Yeah, 10 a.m. for this guy. I'm up at 4, whatever. But
yeah, I'm all right. I'm selling myself. I'm selling myself short. I wake up at like anywhere between like 7:30 and 8. But realistically, I spend the first hour nursing like a cup of like iced coffee and just like going through my to-do list. I'm not awake the first hour. I'm just making sure that when people hit me up at 9, I'm ready to respond and like
zombified.
Exactly. like I can have on like CEO Greg face and I can be like, hey, this is like an actual response and I don't have any attitude attached to it because me without coffee, it can't be done. It can't be done.
Well, I just don't like people messaging me all the time. Like I like if you're paying me money. And yes, I get it. The job is paying me money, but it's like you don't get to overstep my boundaries. Like sometimes, like the CEO when I first started would message me at like 7:00 at night, and I'm like, "Who are you? Don't message me.
Hey,
Boundaries."
Good buddy. I need you to hold that mic a little bit closer.
A little bit closer. Okay, hold on. I'm getting too excited.
There we go.
Is that close enough?
Yeah,
preach, man. Don't message me at 7 p.m. unless you paying me.
We're not even done with the intro, man.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
we gotta slow down.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll get back into that because that's what this first episode is going to be about, us in general. All right, so the second half of the intro. All right, so what I do the same thing, but for a different company. A lot of my job is just like organization for videos. They fly me out to a bunch of different trade shows and we film and do photography in person. So I have a very interesting job that has quite interestingly prepared me for what we do now. It's quick, high-value production on the shortest notice possible. So it's just like I have to organize people's schedules in which they're going to be shooting with me. I have to reach out to them a week beforehand, prep them for stuff, organizing shooting schedules, getting my own B-roll, making sure everyone's happy in terms of social media that will be collected for that. Talking to like the marketing team and us working together. Like right now we're building like a training series. So like I'm in charge of chopping all that stuff up, having it for delivery. So I do all of the boring stuff that you hate.
So basically you're everyone's bitch.
I mean, pretty much. That's pretty much how it is. That's the actual joke. Like on the trade shows when we fly out, I have Greg look, and I always end up missing like my planes and stuff.
We gotta. Oh my god.
And so like I'm just the butt of the joke anytime we fly out.
We gotta talk about Greg days at some point. Greg days are a staple for any bad day you're having to an extreme. You got a flat tire that day.
Exactly. You got a flat tire that day that turns into a broken like wheel piston that then turns into a broken axle, and then like you just spent money on like a new camera. It's a Greg day.
And then guess what? You come home, your power's out.
Exactly.
And then your food goes bad.
Exactly.
And it's all in one day. But we're getting off topic. That's one day.
That's one day. But that is a Greg day. When things go from bad to worse. And they don't stop. Life sees you on the floor, and it starts kicking you and spitting salt on you.
Oh my god! To the open wound.
Exactly. But let's rewind a bit. How long have we known each other?
Man, we met in college, right? Do we state the college?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think anything before 9 to 5 jobs is okay for public knowledge.
Okay. We went to the University of Houston here in Texas, and we met in the digital media program, just doing what we do. And there's a running joke from Greg about how I met him. I don't agree with this because I don't really remember.
And the funny thing about the truth is he don't have to remember or agree because it happened.
Well, I just don't agree. It's whatever. He said that the first day I met him, I said, "Hey, you're the guy who's kind of funny." Like that's the day.
No, you see, even now you're forgetting it. You walked in. I had told a killer joke. Not that I remember what it was.
Killer.
I told a killer joke.
Definitely wasn't killer.
And you walked in because you had been working as one of the like office assistants, and you were like, "Hey, I know you. You're that guy who's kind of funny sometimes." Sometimes.
Oh wow.
I was like, first of all, immediate anger. Like, if you never met me, like, what's going on? I was pleasant on the outside, as I usually am. Immediate anger. Immediate anger.
No, that part's true. I'm talking about you being a nice.
I am a nice person all the time.
You are evil.
It's debatable.
By whom?
I'm conniving. There's a difference.
Yeah, he's a planner. He'll do like.
Exactly. I'm the dude with like the pyramid thing, like sitting at his desk at night.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was when we first met each other. Do we meet in page layout, or was I in page layout and you were like just starting?
No, I think I saw you, and then you were in web design.
Yeah, I think so. It was something like that.
Something, and then I was looking, and I just walked in there. I was the office assistant, and I just said something to you. I don't know,
Yeah, so
long ago.
basically, we were in the middle of a class, and Kellis happened to be doing his job, like, on his shift, working as an office assistant. I was in class, we were finishing up, and, like, everyone was, shooting the shit, doing whatever, just talking, finishing up projects of those of us who could bother to pay attention.
Yeah.
And we started just talking, and I had been pretty closed off until then. I was starting to open up. I am closed off until people meet me, and then I open up into, well, the person you're saying now. I could talk a lot when I'm in front of the right people. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know how it happens.
Why are you selling me like this?
I don't know, man.
Jesus.
He says conniving, and then he wonders why I'm saying
I look, I have a personality too. They see you all the time on social media.
They do.
Which, by the way, I'm so sorry. I got so much family stuff going on that I write out good plans. I write scripts in like our Discord. And I just never get around to it.
Yeah, he was like, hey, and I'm like, oh, these are great, you should do that. He was like, okay, 3 weeks later.
Yeah, just put the SpongeBob card up. 3 weeks later. It's gone. I can't explain my days, guys. I have, to be honest, business owner to hopefully business owner who's watching this, I got no excuse. I'm not prioritizing it enough. When I choose to get it done, I'll get it done. It's simple as that. It's like losing weight, which I also need to do. It's like I'll prioritize it when I prioritize it.
Yeah, so he has like 5, 6 videos on there.
Yeah, 60. I do. I have some ads that I still need to like edit too. They're like fully recorded too.
Where is the time going? What? Oh,
listen, man, this is the part of the podcast people love. Like, just being able to be like, hey, yeah, we're fucking up right now. We're not. We're not doing stuff right.
Up. So there's a video in there with a client. That's a whole nother ordeal. We done messed up. We done did it all. We done. We've
had fun through the whole thing, though.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm out here like, I was down for a day. That me and Greg talked about it. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's keep going.
Yeah, it's only my saying is that it's only a failure if you didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
And we learn everything. We try to learn probably too much. We don't let the lesson sink in probably, but like we try to learn from everything because like he's being like, oh, we should spend more money on ads, and I'm like, should we if we don't know exactly how the algorithm works? And it's just like it changes every week. It's like a human. Like it's different from week to week. It's just like it's impossible. We got to spend money on ads. But yeah, okay. So back to the college thing.
Yeah, back. No.
So when we met, were we friends after that first interaction?
God, no.
We just knew each other.
Yeah, I don't even know how we became friends.
It was a slow interaction. You know how like you get introduced to poison and you gradually build up a resistance?
So I'm poison.
And you like the taste of it after a while.
Oh, okay. So I'm an addiction to you.
It was mostly me to you. You didn't like me. Like I said, you insulted me. So I grew on you. I grew on you like a leech. I grew on you.
I think I grew on you.
Right.
This was his quote. Greg is an amazing cook. Like I know this is off topic, but he cooks barbecue. He made smoked mac and cheese. I didn't know it was a thing. But he said this, and I quote, I don't cook for any of my friends unless I like them, in that voice. And then, Lily in this, whoa.
I don't like it when you try to introduce my voice.
This is how he sounds to me. Whoa.
I do not sound like that.
So then, he ended up cooking for me, or he ended up doing something, and I was like, oh. He was like, I guess I do like you. And I was like, this guy. But then, it was really COVID, too. Like, we were in all those classes because we all had like a combined hatred for the professors because of just what they were teaching. And it was like this stuff, like what we're doing now, like we're learning it from the basics, and we're in school paying. Like I'm $20,000 in debt, and I didn't learn anything of value of starting a business, doing real media creation, or anything. So we were all like, what are we doing? We're doing transmedia, like storytelling across all these mediums, but it's like, this is all theoretical. How do we implement this into businesses who aren't ready for that type of innovation?
So here's a question. Was college worth it?
So I'll say 50%. And 50% yes, and then 50% no. So I got to network and meet some amazing people, right? So they're in my life forever. And I also have a mentor who will not be named. You can't get him. He's mine.
Is it who we're thinking? Is it who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But he's mine.
Okay. What do you mean?
He's my mentor.
I know him too.
Anyway, anyway, the other half is like, just like even with engineering, like I work in like oil and gas, and those engineers will say, hey, these professors are teaching stuff, and then as soon as you get on the rig, it's like, okay, forget everything you've learn this new stuff. And really, what we're doing, all this business stuff, all the media stuff, you can learn that without ever touching school. And there's a lot of people more successful than us who have not went to school. So if you're a self-starter, if you can do that and push yourself and have the determination and talk to people, then don't go. But if you need a little hand-holding or you need direction or you want to get some of the basic skills so that you're not starting from fresh, then I would say go.
Yeah, for me, my belief has recently been that college was worth it for whom the people I met. The people I met made college worth it. It made me into the person I am today, the business that we have today, the business we're running today. But to be honest, I'm not sure how much I learned that I use now. I learned exponentially more my first year out of college than all 4 years in college. Yeah. First of all, I didn't graduate in 4. I'm an idiot. I graduated in 7. Yeah. Sorry. First of all,
he said, "I'm an idiot. I graduated in 7."
You tell my story before you laugh at me. All right. So, my college story is that number one, when I came out of high school, I was trying to be Mr. Frugal. I was like, hey, look, I want to get my basics knocked out. And I went to Lone Star Community College. And my mindset, I had a plan. It just didn't execute well. So I went to Lone Star and I was like, let me knock out all of my basics. For those of you who don't know, I have diagnosed ADHD. And I had to take all the boring classes at once, forcefully. Yeah. That doesn't end well. No. That does not end well at all. And that was a point in my time in which I was not on medication. I'm not on medication now. I don't think I need it as an adult who has Google Assistant at his fingertips. But it was just really hard to focus on something I really had. It's not that I even hated it. I just had no interest in it. And just as a result, it was affecting my performance, whether I was aware of it or not. If I had to do college over again, I would not do that. I would go to school full time and have the enjoyable stuff wrapped up with the boring stuff to make college an easier experience. But yeah, I ended up taking 1 or 2 classes at a time for the first 2 or 3 years, per semester. I would go every single semester and take 1 or 2 because it was apparent at that point that my ADHD was holding me back from boring ass classes. And so I'll take 1 so I know I'll ace it. That was the mindset. Then after year 3, I was like, oh my God, I looked at my course load and I was like, I still have 3.5 years.
Yeah. That's when they get you.
Exactly. I still have 3.5 years left. I was like, I need to graduate. And so once I realized that, my mindset really shifted. And by that point in time, I could transfer no more classes to our eventual University of Houston. And so once I went there, it felt like such a new experience. I was around a whole new group of people. And not to knock on community college, but it's a different vibe at a 4-year. At a 4-year, there's so many more people invested in their future. In a community college, you can find anyone. You could find the person trying to go to class and catch up a couple classes for being a night nurse. You could find the person wasting their time, still working McDonald's, knowing they don't want to go to college. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just there's so many lackadaisical people there that it's easy to have the same mindset.
What is it, lackadaisical?
It's when you're relaxed. It's when you're too relaxed.
That's a real word?
Yes. You know what? Hang on. Let me look it
up. He said lackadaisical. I thought he was saying lackadaisy.
Lackadaisical.
Or laxative.
Lackadaisical.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it is.
It is? Oh, he said, oh my God, he didn't know.
Lacking enthusiasm and determination, carelessly lazy.
When did you learn that word?
Honestly, it's my parents. My parents have a huge vocabulary. My dad's what is he?
Paralegal.
Pop, I'm so sorry. He's a paralegal, and my mom is a dental assistant. So between the number of people that he talked to, we had an entire conversation about the word gingerly a few years ago, and how no one thought it was a word.
I don't know what that means.
It means to lightly step or something. It's lightly. It's I put the spoon down gingerly.
Who says that?
Listen, my parents.
Okay.
My parents made me the man I am today.
I'm gonna get back on topic because now I am flabbergasted. That's my big word for the day.
It's a good word. It's 10 points on Scrabble.
Yeah, I cannot. Scrabble, weakness. It's speech, weak. Talking, strength. They're not the same thing.
I just hate English. The whole language can go.
Oh God! So you know how you said you would go back to college?
Yeah.
If I could if I had the same mindset.
Oh, hang on. To correct you, if I wish I could redo college, not go back to college. I don't think anything we're doing now requires more college.
Oh, no, my bad. So that, redo college. That means that if you were same consciousness and you were 19, you would redo it?
Yeah.
I would not.
Really?
Yes, because think about this. If I didn't really find that much value from it, and like I didn't meet people, but I'm still this self-starter and I'm disciplined, just take that $20,000 I'm in debt and invest into a business.
That is true.
I'm $20,000 in debt, and I still have more debt, and I'm just adding debt on top of debt. So it's more debt and no value.
All right. So I get that. I completely understand that, and I'm almost willing to agree with you. Although I will say this. Consider the fact that you have built a network already. This is Greg's CEO mindset, having to be the wet blanket.
What network?
You have built.
What are you at?
Hey, we may not be using our network the most efficient way, but we have built a network already.
We have. That's true.
My first job, they are now customers of ours.
A big customer.
And the amount is
pretty nice.
Decent.
Decent. He said decent.
Decent.
Decent. Do it in British. How do you do it?
I don't know.
Decent.
We're moving on. But yeah, so they're recent customers of ours. I think the network that I built was worth it. I think that will pay off tenfold. Now, whether I use that appropriately, like whether I use that payoff appropriately or not,
splurge a little bit.
Yeah, I like building my network. I like being known. That's my goal, to get Havick known by everyone everywhere.
They be like, oh, we need media. Have you heard of the Havick team? It just rolls off the tongue. Havick.
Exactly. Let's wreak havoc together, everyone.
So I have a network, but this is a realization that I've had. It's not as strong as yours, but people like me. But I don't know, is it my personality? Is it because I'm not as like Greg, the way he speaks, he comes off as like a boulder. And me, I'm like the pebbles that fall off the boulder.
Don't put yourself down like that.
No, I'm not putting myself down. It's the truth. Like, I'm unstable. Like, people.
Well,
maybe unstable isn't the right word, but I'm just like, I'm erratic. I'm exotic. I'm everywhere.
I like to call you eccentric.
Eccentric. That's the word.
Eccentric.
So, like, a lot of people, some people can't handle that, but they love their approach, because I'll call anybody, hey, saw that you're doing media here, interested in creating more, and they'll say no, and I'll be like, okay, moving on.
Yeah, you have a much better, cold outreach energy than I do. I'm fully aware that there is no reason I should be contacting you other than to try and sell our wares.
Yeah.
So it's just I can't get over that. And I feel like you do a very good job at being like, hey man, I just want to get to meet you. And it's just I don't have that same energy.
Yeah,
I'm an introvert.
Listen, I got free bar. I don't ask for stuff, but we're working with a couple of restaurants, and every time I go there, they give me. Well, I'm sorry. The first time I went there, they gave me free food, and I was just like, I just came because I love what you were doing already, and I was interested in your story, and I want to help you develop that. Get more customers, get more reach, get more publicity. But they always like, hey, try the food, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then they love my reaction. It's like, it's good, huh? I'm like, but yeah, hold on, let me just strip that plate.
Yeah, that's what I like personally about us. We try to make this sounds terrible. We like to make our money off of us as a brand.
Yeah.
The dynamic between us, I think, is one of a kind.
One of a kind. A lot of people are using themselves as the value.
We're like Coke and Mentos.
Coke and Mentos.
Yeah, you ever put Coke and Mentos together? It explodes.
Yes, I thought you said some other type. I was like, whoa, wait, Coke and Mentos.
We'll be right back after the sponsor.
I think it's more Pop Rocks and Sprite. Wait, is that what it is?
Is it?
I think it's Coke and Pop.
That's the black version. Pop Rocks and Sprite is.
Yeah, you put it in there, you go like this, and you close your mouth.
Get that McDonald's Sprite. Put some Pop Rocks in it.
Crispy. Oh my god! But basically, we're Popeye's chicken, and then the biscuits.
No, stop.
and biscuits and honey. Technical difficulties. I need an internal battery for my camera.
Yeah. Camera shit. When you're not there to man it yourself, it will go wrong. It's not if, it's when. So.
Yeah. Well, we still got the audio. That's the
most
most
important audio's part. There. It's just gonna be a black screen while they hear us setting up the camera stuff.
Like, these guys suck.
All right, so we're in the middle of the college thing. Sorry, guys, if we're hopping around, but camera cut. They can't do anything about it. All right, so when did Havick as the idea happen? It was in college.
Oh, yeah. You was talking about when did Havick happen, but he really means when did cognition happen.
Yeah, so that's another word for it.
So Cognition was our first company. in school they challenge you to like start your own business, but it's never like very detailed. It's like, hey, come up with a name, a logo, and then go out and reach out to people. It's like there's no backstory to this.
Yeah, start your own business with quotation marks, people. This is like, hey, you should be doing college like you're doing business, because the particular level of study we were doing was like, hey, it's full media production combined with like leadership and like business stuff on the side. So every class was sort of centered around running your own media production business. Only now do I realize how off they were, man. It was really off. Like, it's nothing like it.
Nothing like that. They're like, ugh. I don't know. Maybe we should have became business majors.
Maybe it probably would have helped. But yeah, Cognition. Let's go more into that.
So we started a fictional company with 2 other students there. But when we did it, one guy fell off. He shall not be named. He was just terrible. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and he will remain unnamed.
Yes, and then it was just 3 of us. And we had started this company in school, but we were like, you know what, this is what we really want to do. So I created the branding, colors, all that stuff.
No LLC filings yet. We were just students. We didn't want to get in all that legal stuff that early. Not when our lives were just getting established.
And then they don't even like. Did they ever tell us about LLCs or like how to start these bank accounts or this and that?
One professor did. One professor did, and but she was so overzealous that it kind of scared. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
She was so overzealous that it like really scared a lot of the students away from it. Whereas I was scratching my chin and I was like, how can I use this to my advantage?
She was very overzealous, more than me. That tells you something.
I was timid to make the first move, but like I knew it was in my future. Like I knew my own business of that sort was in my future. I just didn't know what it would look like. It was an amorphous blob. It didn't have any shape to it.
You and these words. And a what blob?
Amorphous.
I can't. Anyway, next. Continuing. I thought you said Morpheus, like doing a Matrix.
It's Morbin time.
Woo!
All right, but yeah, so Cognition was started with 4, then it went to 3 because the other dude fell off. Then 3, I got to take some accountability here. We just didn't pull the trigger fast enough.
No, we didn't.
We just didn't. Like, and to be honest, 100% fair, we were still in college. Like, we didn't know what we wanted to do.
But didn't it also happen a little after college, too? Like, when we started working? Because we didn't know, like, how to really have that work-life balance. It's difficult now.
That's why Cognition never ended up happening.
Yeah.
The other person wanted to start doing business immediately. He already had a bunch of people that he knew.
Yeah.
He already had like a soft network that he had built that, he's still out there building. Props to him. We'll also name unnamed just because we just didn't ask permission. It's not fair to just say it.
Yeah.
We're still good. Still talk to him all the time.
Yeah,
still friends.
Dope.
Still dope with him. But yeah, he immediately started doing work, and we were just graduating, and we were like, we have tuition to pay back in the form of student loans. We just were so worried about getting jobs. You ended up getting your first job like earlier than me.
Yeah.
I ended up it was an internship that turned into a job.
Part-time. Right? So I talked my way into part-time because, hey, I'm about to graduate. Like, it doesn't make any sense for me to intern. And then they said they wanted someone to start now. I said, hey, just try me out. And the next thing you know, I did the big event, and they said, you're hired. I said, money.
See, that's the same thing as like building your network. It's the same sort of steps. It's just talking your way into things. It's just starting with like the relationship with that person first. Yeah, that's at least the mindset I take. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Still new with this, but yeah. So I ended up getting a job like 6 months after graduating.
It took that long?
I'm probably overestimating by like a month or so, but like
I don't think it took that long.
Did I do it?
No.
Are you sure?
There's no way, because there's a lot of people who didn't get jobs, and some people it took them a year, but you weren't one of them. I don't remember.
I'm trying to think because I spent many a night.
Oh no, because you were working at that other company, with the VR stuff.
Yeah.
And you were kind of banging on that, but I think they had switched or something, or you're still contract.
They ended up pretty much dissolving.
Oh, yeah.
But they didn't want to basically pay us a fair contracted rate when they didn't have a source of consistent income themselves, which I completely get, especially now where we're at. I get it. I
mean, but then just don't be in business. You can't pay people. I don't know.
Well, sometimes you need help from contractors, and like me and another student who we're friends with right now.
Yeah.
We were just trying to work that angle to, grow our network. Hey, let's do full time. We already work here, blah, 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 blah. And they were like, Maybe they were dragging us along without meaning to.
And then they're no longer a company, right?
Yeah. They ended up dissolving.
It is what it is.
It'd be what it be. But yeah, so when Cognition happened, it was just at a transition point in our lives. We weren't ready to take the legal jump to make it a thing. And by the time that we had gotten like 2 or 3 months deep into our own jobs after graduation, that person that we were working with set up his LLC. He did all the paperwork.
Oh,
already.
He did?
Yeah, at that point, he set his up early.
I didn't know he did that.
Yeah, he told me about it. He was like, "Oh yeah, I just set up my LLC," and I was like, "Man, I wish I was brave enough to do that."
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, this is like the whole mentality thing, though. Like everyone's like, "I'm afraid to do this." Like, I can't do that. Like, it's just a step.
Yeah, we honestly had I'm gonna say about a year and a half worth of mentality changing into like who we are today, where it's just like, no, we need to make this company happen because like it's the only thing we want to do.
But it's more of just like wanting to do. It's like when you get in the corporate world and you're working for other people and they're just telling you what to do and you can't say fuck you or no, I don't want to do that. It's like, I'm like I said this before, I'm literally your bitch and I don't want to be that person. I have a thing about authority. Maybe that's just me.
No, it's me too.
Okay, well I'll work with people, but don't think you're above me ever.
I work with people. I don't work for people.
Yes.
Which, luckily, I have that exact mindset, and everyone agrees where I work now.
Yeah.
It's actually a weird dynamic because, like, I know I have to leave eventually in like a few 3, 4, 5 years, something like that.
Yeah.
But like, the job I have honestly matches my mindset. I just know that this is something I have to do. Like, it's in my future.
Have to.
I'm going to take the steps necessary to make it happen. I'm going to learn as much as I can where I am. I'm going to prove myself an asset because there's something to be gained there, like on both sides. Making some amazing stuff there, but this is happening in the background until it becomes the full thing.
It's just something about like it's not just financial freedom. It's just like freedom of choosing your clients or dictating your style of media that you're creating. Like yes, you're working with the clients, but it's also like they're putting you on the table as an equal. And sometimes you're working with people who are like have a business mindset, but they don't have like a like CEO mindset. Like it's different because like I've met a lot of business owners who aren't assholes, but I've also met a lot of CEOs who are like narcissistic and whatever because they make millions of dollars. I don't care. Be a human.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a fan of just like what it seems like is like when you get the title CEO, a weird personality attaches yourself to that. Attaches itself to those 3 letters CEO, and it's just like, were you like that in the beginning, or was being like that what made you a CEO? It's like, which came first, chicken or the egg? Your personality or a CEO?
Well, the chicken came first. I asked some guy in R&D. He said, scientifically, the chicken got to come first because something.
It takes the fun out of it, though.
I
wonder.
Yeah, I know.
What came first, my breakfast or my dinner?
You know? Well, actually, I don't know how to say it, but if you're up at 12 a.m., are you up in the morning or up at night?
12 a.m. is night. Anyone who says anything different is crazy.
They were like, hey, you're up at 12 in the morning? No one says that.
If you got up early and you were like, what time did you get up? I got up real early, like 12 a.m. Nah, dude, you just didn't go to sleep.
Yeah. It was like, what time you going to be in work? Early? No, you got to be to work late at 12. You never say early.
Exactly.
That's the truth.
No one our age is going to sleep or is like waking up anywhere like near 12. We're probably going to sleep at 12.
Waking up at 4 like me.
Sleep deprived.
Always.
That's how we roll now. Permanent bags under the eyes.
Man, I'm telling you, he got some, I got some, but hey, I'm feeling energized today from caffeine.
Yeah, that'll do it. Them 5 Red Bulls be hitting hard.
I don't drink Red Bulls.
Yeah, you do.
He drinks 5 espressos and he just go.
They're 2. They're 2.
2 times what is 5?
No, nothing.
2.
Well, I'm sure it's something.
2 times 2.5 is 5.
Back to cognition.
Back to the point.
Back to cognition. All right, so yeah, we just ended up pulling the trigger too late, and he went off to do his own thing, which left us in a weird state because we already created all the branding, and it was useless. He didn't take the branding. He went out and made his own thing. And so we couldn't use it because we felt like the brand was the 3 of us.
No,
and
it was more than just that.
What?
When we remember we looked at the name and the name was already taken?
Oh, that was a later part. To be honest, I completely forgot about that. But yeah, that was also a part of it.
No, yeah, that's the part. I can't remember if we said we were just going to keep it or if we were going to just like start some new. But
I had thoughts of already changing it.
Oh.
But I was, like it was a name. We did the branding, blah, blah. I wasn't going to fight it. And then when we looked up under like the Texas registry for like LLCs or whatever.
He said,
every version. Like, it wasn't just, not just the version we wanted. Every conceivable notion of cognition, every spelling that would have been fancy and clever and marketable was already taken. It was gone. And every domain name was gone too. You couldn't buy the website.
And then, let me check this camera. Let me make sure it's still recording because I can't see. Oh, it is. We're at 11 minutes.
Left?
No, just 11 minutes in total, and the audio is recording.
All right, cool.
I wanted to make sure. I was concerned the whole time. I was like, is this recording the audio?
Jesus.
I had to switch cameras, so I forgot to check.
All right, cool.
But back to cognition, and then we did that. And then we realized, okay, well, we got to redo the branding, start a new company name. And we spent like a week or 2 weeks on it, or something like that.
We spent about a week and a half on it. And would you like to explain how the name came to be?
The name, I think I came with some names, and Greg was just like, it's just not. He has this thing. It's just not killers enough. It's just not.
I don't sound like that.
He sounds like that to me. That's the important part. But he was like, it just doesn't sound killers enough.
All right, dude. Like, I don't sound like that.
It doesn't sound crazy enough for us, man.
I'm gonna let you finish, but I'm gonna Kanye you in a second.
I'm a Will Smith you. Keep my company's name out your mouth. Blah!
Will Smith, if you want to come on our podcast,
that would be great.
That would be great.
We'll film you.
We will tell a joke
in my house, though.
We will tell a joke about what happened, though.
Yeah,
fair. To be fair. All right.
So we were in Discord. We were talking about it. The names, he didn't like them, and then he was like, Greg speaks very like inspirational, visionary. He's like, I just want something that's like bold. I want something that's like chaotic. I want something that wreaks havoc. And I said, there it is. You're
making it way more dramatic.
That's how it sounded. And then I said, that's it. That's the name, Havoc. Like, I said, fuck what everyone else is doing. We're going to do it our way. That's how it came to be. Havoc!
To set the scene more realistically.
This is realistic.
It was like 10:30 at night. We were both on Discord at night, and we were like going through like what the names could possibly be. And we were just like, at a certain point, we stopped talking about names, and we started talking about energies and vibes and how we wanted the company to be with just us. And we started leaning on the fact that it's the dynamic between us that will sell.
Yeah.
And it was just like, all right, so what do? We do stuff that no one else does in a way that no one else does because we're uncopyable. We're Greg and Kells. We're G and K, K and G. And not the suits.
Not the suits. You see this? This is from Ross.
So, like, we wanted to lead with that energy first. And I was just like, well, no, we can't copy anyone else. We're not going to, like, this was the hard part. We can't use anyone else for inspiration because we don't want to be like anyone else. And so I was, just riffing on that. And I was like, no, I want to do something crazy. I want to be us. I want to, every time we work with someone, and be like, Jesus, they went around and turned everything upside down. And man, it 5X, 10X my business. Like with them, they're my media team. I don't go to anyone else. And I was like, and we were going on about like marketing stuff and just like how sayings go back and forth. And we were like, nah, I want to do something special. And then that's where the dramatic part.
Wreak havoc.
It's like I want to like wreak havoc with people's media. And Kells was like, that's it. Greg, don't stop. What did you just say? That's kind of clever. I like it.
I don't sound like that.
You did.
I sound nasally.
You don't sound nasally.
He said,
I don't think I sounded like that. You're making me self-conscious now. I don't think I sounded like that.
He said,
no, but you were blowing up over the phone at like 10 a.m. or 10 p.m.
Oh, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's it. Write it down. Forget it. And it was like, well, how do we spell it? We went through like 5-10 iterations of spelling it. I said, no, I don't want it to be O-C-H-O-V. What is it? H-A-V-O-C.
No, we can't spell it because then we're going to admit that we're stupid and we don't know how to spell. Because I definitely can't remember right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, we didn't do that. And we just said
we didn't want
else.
the normal spelling, though. That was for sure. And so we had to immediately look up that moment we thought of it. We had to immediately look up the LLC.
Yeah, we did.
And see if it was available.
And it was. We said.
And it was. And like it was like 2 days later because we were like, all right, how much money do we need to do? And that's when I had to start becoming like the CEO immediately. Because I was just like, how much money is this going to be? And I had to dip into like my own funds and like start the LLC. And then Kellis, like, of course, paid me back his half after we were done. And so we were like, I mean, there's no... we just filed. Yep. Like, we got the letter in the mail that was like, hey, you're official.
And I was like, woohoo!
The Texas comptroller and everything. They were like, hey, you're official. And we were like, we got it. And we're like, wait, what else do we need? And then it was just a slow run down a hill that just kept going faster and faster.
Then we
were like, what do we
account.
need? Yeah, we were like, what do we need to run a business again?
We need a bank account. We need a social media. Like,
our next step was to immediately go for the website because like domains, like once they sell, you have to like bid for them back to other people, and like those things can sell for a couple $1,000s, like if the right person buys it.
Yeah.
So we immediately went and like. It was like 2 or 3 days after that we bought the domain and we sat on that for a while until we figured out our branding. And then like once we got everything set up, then we went to the bank and we got everything set up and we were like, it was weird because at the time I was just like I wasn't fully confident in like how we were setting things up and was it the right move. I knew it had to be done, but was it right? It's like you need a bank account, but is this the right bank account? That sort of doubt. And so, like, eventually, like, what I ended up adopting from my current, like, employer is that sometimes you just got to do stuff and fix it in post, essentially.
Yeah.
It's just like, you're going to have to, like, make business mistakes because that's how you learn. It's like, the only thing you can do is promise that you'll learn from it. And, I think we've held to that pretty true.
Yeah, the more waiting. I mean, waiting just creates more waiting, and that's like the truest statement ever. So if you're like, "Well, should I do a bank account? Should I go with Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, whatever?" Just choose one and do it. And if it doesn't work out, just switch.
Change it over.
Iterate. Like I heard this quote, and
to be honest, once you have enough money in the account,
cut me off.
I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry. You want to finish?
Yes, I want to finish my quote. I heard this quote, and it said, "The only way to predict the future is to invent it," and I stand by that.
Who said it?
Someone I work with.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
I am not. Yeah, someone I work with said that, and I said that's a dope quote. Like that's. But that's
say it one more time then.
The only way to predict the future is to invent it. So it's like when everyone's like, I want my future. I want a mansion in my future. Okay, well, do the steps to do it. Like if you say, I'm gonna be a millionaire. Oh, I'm gonna go to Budapest, whatever. You have to take those steps in order for that future to come. If you don't, you could be stuck there. So no bank account, no money, no Budapest.
Yeah, that's definitely a mindset I feel like I've adopted. A lot of like what I do now is just like, oh, we need this thing, and it's like, is this the right one? Well, if you don't make a decision now, you probably won't make it tomorrow because then you're just going to get analysis paralysis. So worried about making the right decision that you don't make any decision.
God, analysis paralysis.
That was one of our old professors' like quotes.
More words.
That wasn't even me. Anyways,
just disappointed.
Sometimes it's important to just take that first step and then like see where the next step is. Just keep taking the next step and learn as you go. Because trying to do it right the first time, it's just fruitless after a while. It doesn't work.
Fruitless. That means it's not sweet.
It will bear no fruit. Like your results will have no payoff.
Okay, but with no fruit means no sugar.
Why do we start this podcast?
Okay, before you go there, let me see where we're at. Okay, we're at 19 minutes. It's still going strong. This is a great camera.
Okay, so now we're doing the delayed start. We had like that year before.
Oh, do I talk about my trauma?
You can't if you. That's a personal decision. You can't if you want.
I can't. I will, but I'm not gonna touch on all the stuff. I'm just talk about.
All right, cool. I'll follow your lead.
Okay, so we had the name, bank account, all this amazing stuff, and we just sat on it. We sat on it for quite a while, and it was just a lot of stuff going on in 2023, and I gotta say that was the worst year of my life. I can't remember all the details because literally some of the stuff is blank, but I went on medication. That's how deep and like depressing it was, where I was dealing with all this anxiety. Like I started running because I just couldn't deal with the amount of like mental pain I had, and I was just pushing off the business. And we were making progress. Did we already have an Instagram at that point?
No.
Oh, we didn't have an Instagram. Wow, we were really pushing it off then. Like,
yeah.
Like I was just.
We did nothing. We like. I don't think we realized. I don't think either of us realized how little progress we made during what is quite possibly the worst year of your life.
Yeah.
And a pretty bad year of my life as well.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I lost a loved one. Like that,
that
was really bad. That messed me up for. I'm gonna be honest, like 4 or 5 months. Like I was not the same person. I'm still not the same person afterwards. But yeah, that was rough for me. That was rough.
It was just rough. The whole, like I think. What happened? I moved. Oh yeah, that's what I'm trying to remember all the stuff. So I moved out of my mom's house in 2022. after a year at my job, and then I moved out of that apartment the year after that to go live with some roommates. And then, but before then, moving there, I had to go move with my brother. And I was like, okay, there's a lot of stress happening. I was already dealing with all these problems. I just kept moving. I didn't feel secure. I was just like everywhere and not in a home. And then even when I moved there was all these other interesting things because I have roommates and I never had that many at one time, and dealing with different personalities and having expectations and trying to be this strong person just kind of dwelled on me a lot. And then still dealing with the anxiety and then admitting defeat to myself for the first time. And like, man, I had to go see someone. And then, I'm going to say it like this. Greg's going to say it better. I'm just to the point. I was on drugs, but it was medication. But I just felt like I lost 3 months of my life. What was it? It was June 20th. Oh, wow. It's been a year. Yeah, I remember I kept saying the day. I said June 20th, June 20th. I would say it all the time because I just couldn't deal with it anymore.
Yeah, that was really rough. Like, hearing you go through that, because I'm not the best emotional person in the world. It's like, I do the CEO part because I happen to be good at it. But I don't have a talent when it comes to, like, the really raw emotional stuff. It was really hard just, like, seeing and hearing you go through that and me having no mental reference. I've been sad. To the point where, like, God. I'd say not sad because, like, depression isn't sad.
Yeah.
But I've been, like, at points where I'm like, if you squint, that could be depression or something. But it's like I truly had no reference for like what you were going through. So I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was
I'm that
tough.
person that's like when my friends like hurting, I'm just like, what do you need me to be? Because that sounds a lot more thoughtful. It was.
I need you to be the truck. Like it was so bad that I was running about 50 miles a week. I was running in the heat. It hit 110 degrees one day, and I didn't even feel it.
It was like the only way you could like clear your mind.
It was just like the thoughts were just flooding me every day, and I kept saying I need to go run. And then what happened was that when I was on that medication, I didn't know it was zombifying me until I was like, I don't have any emotions. Like these things don't really bother me, and I was like, this is weird. And one day I missed the dose. And that's why I was like, oh, I've been taking this consistently for 2 months, and I'm different. Like, I have no motivation to do anything, and I sleep all the time. Literally, I was like, I would wake up, get off work, take a nap at work, go home, talk to Greg, go to sleep, wake up, go run, go back home, go back to sleep. On the weekends, I just slept all the time.
Every time we were on the phone, you were either just getting up from a nap like 30 minutes ago or getting ready to lay down for a nap.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, it was the best sleep of my life. But after missing that dose and realizing this was not good, I decided to get off of it. And then I could feel the energy coming back, the motivation. And I was like, Greg, what have we been doing for the last 6 months? It's just like, it snapped like this. And I know that's like weird, like movie moment, but it did. I said, we need to make progress. And then I literally just went full throttle, started messaging people. And I started talking to people about this. Then we had like our first client, but it was like a free client. Someone I had known who does like massage stuff, and I said, we're gonna film this and make social stuff out of it. And then I think that's when we started the Instagram, and I started posting. We started like experimenting, and it's gotten so much better then. But from that moment, like November, December-ish, when I got back from Thailand, like we just went full throttle.
It's been sprinting since like October, November.
Yeah.
No, because Thailand was after October, right?
Yeah, it was in November. So
right. Like, so it's been a wild sprint since November.
Yeah, and
it's been tough. Crazy. And was it June?
June.
So it's approaching a year.
Yeah, it's approaching a year, and I mean
full speed. It's approaching a year at full speed.
Yeah, and we're not gonna talk about our revenue or whatever, but I feel like the progress we made, like the amount of people who know us and the people we've met in this last 8 months, it's life changing. So the progress we've made in 6 months is honestly astounding. I don't like to say it out loud because I don't want to get a big ego. Yeah.
But like honestly, like it's looking up, man. Like it's looking up.
It is looking up.
I think what we're doing, even though, admittedly, we're still stumbling through it. It's like we're doing enough to compensate for it and like still trying to build that network. We're everywhere we go and like do some work, people are like ready to like rave about it. They're loving it. And that's our goal. It's like if you're paying money for good media, if you're paying money for good photos, if you're paying money for good video, you want, number one, I think everyone would like to have a creative say in what it is.
Yeah.
Have a trusted professional to tell you when that's a good idea, when that's a bad idea. And those are hard Those are hard talks. Mm-hmm. To have someone say like, "Hey, your idea, that's no good. It's no good.
No good.
Throw it out." So capitalizing on being able like, "Hey, we're gonna have those hard conversations, but we're gonna make something that's truly effective at the end of it." So that's how we like to like market ourselves. Like we're not just some photo and video guys. Mm-hmm. We're your immediate team. Because we want the same goal for you. We want you to scale too, because to drop the sales stuff for a second does not benefit us if we just take your money and run.
No, we want to
work
with
we want you to like come back and be like, that was great. And the more that we get to know you, the more we get to have fun on set because we know what you want. We're in tune. Mm-hmm. And it's like at a certain point, it's just like, hey man, yearly big production video that'll like, you know, at least drive your sales up 5 or 10 for that last month in the fiscal year. It's like we all get to have some fun with it. We get to create a wild music video, whatever it is, and we all come out of it like happy at the end. I feel like that's what business should be. In a perfect world, I feel like we're trying to make that perfect world.
Make that perfect world where we get money and you make money.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what we want.
Exactly.
Okay.
Let's back up a second. You mentioned something very interesting.
Yes.
When you came off of your medication, how was that? Because you mentioned it was a snap.
It was like one day, I could feel, like this is weird, but I could feel the anxiety come when I didn't have the medication, so I would have to take it. And maybe it was a placebo. Sorry. Maybe it was a placebo, but I don't know. But the day that I had missed it, I just felt like calm. Like if like that tough period I was in kind of like trickled down into the back of my mind and locked itself up with a key. I was like, okay, I feel better. And then I think it was more of like me understanding that I need to gain that strength back to myself, because I've always dealt with this overthinking and stuff, but it has never been that bad where I had to admit defeat. So me doing that and then realizing that it wasn't good maybe has given me more strength to be like, you know what, I don't need to be on that. If I need to do it, I'll go run. You know what, I'll do 100 push-ups if I'm upset. You know what, I can learn to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I heard a quote like about a year or two back that like, I'm not sure what the type of medication you were on. I didn't get that deep into like what you were doing to respect your own space or whatever. But like I heard that antidepressants and stuff like that they're not happy pills. They're even you out pills so you can be happy on your own. Do you think that was the final result of that after you got off, that it just helped even you out?
Even me out. I mean, I took something that gave me a panic attack. So I don't know if it evened me out.
That was a rough one.
Boy, I ain't never.
I witnessed one of those. That was not great.
When did that happen? We went out to eat that day.
We went there?
Oh, my bad. Yeah. But it didn't. I don't know if it evened me out. It just kind of like
from someone who has no reference, how would you describe it?
Okay, like this. So imagine you're upset. So a lot of people get upset. Everyone gets upset. And those thoughts maybe are in your brain for like 10 minutes or 5 minutes. For me, it can be days or hours. So it's like the same thought replaying over and over. So imagine that 5 minutes turns into 10 seconds. It's like quickly just like, oh, I'm upset about it. But why be upset about it? Literally. And then you just kind of just go about your day and it goes in the back. But so imagine you have rage. No. Actually, ask the question again. Do you remember the question?
Yeah. So when you were coming off of like your medication, it's like describe that to someone who like had no reference. Like what did the medication do ultimately? So
everyone gets upset, right? Like everyone gets angry about different things. And for you, angry is like 5-10 minutes maybe. Or maybe it's 30 minutes. For me, it's hours and sometimes it's days. And it's the same thought that replays over and over and over. It spirals down. And the medication just took those thoughts from me. And as for you, instead of it being 5-10 minutes, it would be 10 seconds. And for me, instead of it being hours and days, it would maybe be a minute. And they'll be like, well, why am I upset? Why am I like this? It's not that bad. So it really like, as they would say when I was seeing someone, I think he said that what is the term? Like it fixes the mental something. It balances your brain. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
No. I don't actually.
Oh my God, you're an idiot. Well, I'm an idiot for not knowing. But it just like, any like a mental condition is basically something in your brain is off, and it just puts it on.
Okay.
So that's the best I can explain. I forgot what it's called. I'm chill right now.
I don't want to like, because like there's a ton of people out there with like way lighter stuff and way harsher stuff. So I hope I don't offend anyone by saying it. Like, is it like a chemical reaction that wasn't happening and now it is?
It fixes the chemical imbalance. There it is.
Okay.
Yeah. So mental health is really just a chemical imbalance in your brain. So it's unfortunate. Some people have to deal with it. Some people don't. And some things are more severe and it can't be fixed. But medication helps. Like, I don't know the exact science to it. I'm not them. But imagine if you had like everyone has 8 shapes in their brain, but you have 7 shapes, and then you have 7.5 shapes, and the other half of the shape is a triangle. So it would just like fix that triangle to make it actually the square. Or something. Or like an X or whatever. You
know what's funny? You're actually describing the literal diagram of like a psychology book like we read in high school. You're describing like the chemical like the synapses and stuff like that.
Oh.
Like the how chemicals fit into each other. Like a certain chemical is meant to be received by a certain part of like another neuron. But it's literally described as that. It's like circles and triangles and squares. And like when you don't have one, it fucks up.
Who said your boy don't know nothing? Who said your boy don't know nothing?
Everyone in the comments is going to be like, Greg, that's not what it was at all. It's like you're describing a tree. It's like
you're some with chromosomes. I don't know.
No, but jeez, dude, we're almost done. Let's see. So where are we now, buddy? How would you describe where we are now?
We're in a very interesting period of like acceleration where we've kind of figured out a lot of the things that we're doing wrong, and we're putting in these implementations and processes to make it easier. We're refining our methods of outreaching and getting more inbound people to like reach out to us, and then the network is really like coming up like fast. Like, I don't know what Greg did in the last 3 weeks, but it's like his network just was like, hey, come do all these jobs. And we did a job for them. Was it last year?
Yeah, we did a job for them last year.
We did one job for them last year, and now it's like, come do this job, and now it's like a huge job, and it's like, whoa. So we're really in this period where we're gonna hit our revenue goal. It wasn't a high goal. We just like wanted to make sure it's realistic. We're refining things. We're making so much content. We have schedules. We have plans. We're time blocking. Like, we just figured out what it really means to be business owners, and now it's gonna be like this year 2. And at the end of this year, oh my God, it's gonna be not a breeze, but a lot better than year 1.
Yeah, I think year 2 will be very exciting because it's like the hardest part was year 1. I hope the hardest part was year 1.
Do we even count year 1? I don't.
This
is year 1.
Working year 1. Okay. The first year that the LLC was in status, we didn't do anything. We had a really rough year, and nothing got done. This is technically year 2, but first working year.
Yeah.
So now I feel like first working year is the hardest.
Yeah.
And then year 2, your network will start to pay off and start to like feed itself, grow itself. Like right now, my personal strategy is trying to get in contact with a few key players, trying to get myself in a few different industries, where it's just like, hey, you know, what is good, consistent monthly revenue for us?
Exactly.
And it's just like, are those people well connected enough for us to like invest some extra time in? Like, hey, let's throw some freebies in there.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's build that relationship, because once you like us, once you trust us, like we'll do that naturally.
Yeah.
But right now it's really purposeful, so we're not trying to waste a bunch of time or waste a bunch of effort for someone we're probably never going to see again. Yeah. And it's like, we want every relationship to pay off, but sadly, it's a two-way street. Yeah, we don't hold the keys to that.
Yeah, and the thing about like revenue, what you're gonna realize, I mean, and we should have known this, but having reoccurring revenue is a lot better than getting 1 or 2 jobs. So, and imagine this, like most people listen to this may or may not be creatives, or you use Adobe. Remember, you used to buy the license, it's $200 to get all of them, or you could buy them individually. But now it's a subscription base. And why do you think that is? If the people are going to continue to use it, instead of being $200 for the new version or to get updates, it's $200 or $60 a month. So they're making that $200 in 4 months, and then you're going to pay it forever.
Yeah.
You're not going to, like, subscription-based model, like reoccurring models, like, especially we're in the video and we're in the media industry, so you can always need photos and video. So just having that model is very important. So what Greg is saying applies to most businesses. Like, if you can do that, then do it. Like, I built a way for us to get a monthly recurring revenue with some of our clients, trying to do more. And that's just come from learning and refining. Like, what makes more sense so that you always have money coming in, because you don't want to appear where it's like, well,
what we're trying to avoid is like what a lot of larger companies do. You look on YouTube, you'll find this too. Like, this money, like, it's a common YouTuber problem, to be honest. Like, what's your monthly revenue? I don't know. It fluctuates widely from month to month. I want our revenue to be very steady, because when we eventually decide to like get this to become like our main thing, I want to sit down with our CPA and be like, look, we want to accomplish this within the next year. What are we looking like in terms of revenue? Is this okay? How much should we have stocked up in pure capital, like pure cash? And it's like, what should our monthly look like to sustain this for, let's say, a year, until like we get our full effort paying off and have it? Because right now it's essentially like we're part-time, working part-time on a business. And it's just like, hopefully you think the math works out to where like you go full-time, you obviously double it, because you're only doing half-time, now you're doing full-time. And that's not the way businesses go. Like, the harder you work does not mean the more money you get. No. You have to work. Smarter. Like, we both worked hard. We both went to college. We both did a bunch of internships and stuff while we were in college. We've worked hard. Now we got to work smart. Yeah. And learning how to work smart is its own challenge. It's its own challenge.
Yeah, it's like you never, like, there's so many questions. Like, some people say, well, if you're just starting out, you must not be that good, so do everything for free. But then you're like, okay, well, how much money am I losing by doing this free, but also how much value am I gaining? Am I putting myself in the right places? And then it's like, okay, if you're especially in the media business, I have cameras, like, they're not cheap, and then I gotta go drive to these places, then I gotta go film. What happens if I drop my camera?
Exactly. And to not go too deep into pricing, because that'll probably be its own episode, but how you price stuff, it's a very complicated process that every single person approaches differently. Like, you can look it up on YouTube. It was a very frustrating process. How do we price stuff? And at the beginning or the end of the episode, it's all up to you guys. So like, comment, and subscribe. And it's like, stop. That's not. Shut up. That's not what we came here for.
You gotta just let us know.
Give me the formula.
And I'm telling you, monthly recurring revenue.
Exactly. So like, what goes a lot into like our pricing structure is like, hey, like, after all, like the equipment fees and stuff like that, pricing the job itself, like how much effort, like if you want to break it down to an hourly thing, which is also just like a personal taste thing, you also have to be like, well, how experienced am I? Like, you should be charging a premium for like how experienced and how good you are at your certain type of filmmaking and photography and stuff like that. What you're paying for when you get media services isn't so much the end product. It's the professional that learned how to do it in the amount of time that they did it. It's like, if we can go out and knock out an interview in 30 minutes flat, it's not the 30-minute interview you're paying for. You're paying for, like, man, that guy did it quickly. Like, stuff may have happened on set. I don't know. I didn't even notice. He was great. He was in and out, and he relaxed the talent and everything. Yeah. That's what you're paying for, the experience. But, I have to agree with Kellis. It's a strange acceleration time right now. I'm excited to see what comes next. Like, I hope my sleep schedule survives it.
Oh, I would love some signs that says Havoc, or we start getting company shirts. Like, if we come here with company shirts, we done made it.
Exactly. We're going to get a glowing neon sign at some point.
It's going to be Havoc.
Exactly.
Work smarter, not harder.
Exactly. That'll probably be our slogan.
That's the tagline.
All right, man. So next segment is shit we went through this week.
What did I go through this week, and what do I have to look forward to next week?
Yeah, it could be business stuff. It could be personal stuff. It could be funny stuff.
What happened this week? Hold on. Life is a blur. Oh yeah, I had met a new client. I was prospecting a client this week. It's a barbecue client, and I messaged him on a whim. I was driving past him. I said, "Oh wow, it could be interesting." I looked at his Instagram. I always like vet someone first. Okay, what media are you doing? Can you use our services? I look at it and I'm like, okay. They seem like they're accelerating. They get customers, but could we help them? So then I messaged him. He said, okay, we can meet. And then the day we were supposed to meet, he didn't respond. And I was like, okay, well, I got to see. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go on a leap of faith again. These things tend to work out. I go up there, wait in the line. And then I asked the cashier, I was like, hey, is this guy here? And they was like, no. I was like, okay. And then as soon as I turned around, about to leave, or they were going to call him, he walks through the door. And I said, wow, fate. And then we started talking. He gave me free food and stuff. And he said to just wait 45 days, and we're get things rolling. So things went great this week, except for the other stuff. I don't know what happened Monday, Tuesday.
You want to mention what happened Monday, Tuesday?
What happened? Just shit with work, man. That's why I got to get out of there.
Yeah, just work, just balancing work-life problems, which is what we go through most of the time. It's just like, man, how much do we give to work, and how much do we give to life, and if we have anything left over, feed our personal lives.
Yeah, you said this week. You should ask for last month, but
last month was bad for you.
Terrible.
All right, so shit I went through this week. So I tweaked my leg a few weeks ago. I felt like my MCL. I'm really like 90% back. I have all my range of motion back. It's like the last 10% and just strengthening it. That happens because I neglect my health. I tend to sit at my desk all day. And
unhealthy.
And when you compare, yeah, exactly. When you compare like how much like each of us eats, Kellis, you out eat me like 2 or 3 times over.
I'm also a runner, so
yeah, you burn. Well, that's my point. You burn and consume way more calories than me. I eat on a good day. I have clocked it before, like in terms of like calorie counting. I eat on a normal day probably around 1,800 to 1,900 calories. Because I usually eat once or twice a day, and that's usually not good. And because I'm sitting at my desk all the time, my body's metabolism just crashes. And it's just like, oh, we're not doing anything? All right, the moment you eat over 1,600 calories, you're just going to gain weight. Because 1,600 is all it takes to keep you alive. And it's just like, because I'm moving so little. I have this like Garmin watch on. There are sometimes I go months without using it. I have right now. It's like 2 p.m. No, never. I love this thing.
2 p.m.
It's under 2,000 steps. It's like that's abysmal.
On a minimum, I get 10,000 a day without trying.
Exactly. I don't move too much, except for when I do, and I swim. So
He's
my steps
basically a plant just absorbing light, but actually just computer light.
Exactly, pretty much
blue light.
Exactly. What's the sun? What's the color is the sun? I don't know. I ain't seen it in a while.
This is the only light he used.
Exactly.
Studio light.
But yeah, I've been back in the pool this week, a little bit last week, and all of my range of motion came back. I feel myself getting stronger every day. I'm already down like a couple pounds. I'm getting happy. I'm getting the energy to get back in there. But business-wise this week, it has been mostly just scheduling the big shoot that we have this coming week on like Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah.
We got like 35 something interviews to do. We have like 12 to 24 like photos to take like on like a roof. It's a lot of coordination, and I'm just checking to make sure like everyone's good, make sure he knows what's going on. Man. He's having his own rough week, so I'm taking more of the responsibility because it's not to get weird for a second, but it's like a marriage. It's like sometimes you got 90% and I got 10. And you got to bring your 90 to make up for my 10.
Is that the quote of the day? Business means business partners are in a marriage.
I'll roll it. It could be smoothed out, but I'll roll with it.
So that's the quote of the day, everybody. That's the end of the podcast. Business partners means that you're married, and that's it. That's a wrap. See you guys in the next one. Boop. That's a joke.
I was about to say, I was like, we're not ending the podcast like that. No, but like, yeah, you're having a rough week, so I was like, all right, let me take on more of the communication for this than we normally would, just to compensate for all the shit you're going through. And hopefully I'm doing a good job. But
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. But so just prepping for this next week. It's probably going to be pretty chaotic all this next week. And then to match that energy at the end of next week, next Friday, it's going to be a big relaxation weekend for me. Personally, as I'm looking forward to that check clearing.
Oh man, when that check cleared, boy, I'm gonna look at it and I'm just gonna sit there in the.
I'm gonna just stare at it. I'm gonna stare at the account number and be like, "That's a lot of digits.
That's a lot of digits. That's the most I've ever had.
Exactly.
In a while.
I
had it. Never, honestly.
Yeah, to be honest.
Right on. We did it.
It's hard to say money.
When we make 6 figures, we'll let you guys know.
Exactly.
The big 6.
When we make 6 figures, we won't tell anyone, but there will be signs.
There will be signs. We're gonna be with some lights, some LED lights and shirts and hats and glasses and shoes.
I'm gonna get new glasses.
Boy, I'm gonna have you could be like this camera right here, and then we're gonna do the behind the scenes. It's gonna be 5 FX3s.
Exactly. It's gonna be like a huge red camera for no reason.
Okay, I don't know about that.
Red camera for no reason.
No, editing.
Red camera for no reason.
The editing on that is just like...
You don't do it for the editing, you do it. Hey, everyone. Sorry to disturb and stop the episode, but that's exactly what our camera did. Our camera stopped. So Just wanted to give an explanation for why there's a hard cut here. And, back to the episode.
All right. Camera cut off again, but that's okay. We're going to wrap this up. Wrap it up.
All right. So, where were we, buddy?
We were wrapping up the podcast.
Yeah, man. I have to agree with you on the whole point of just like it's a crazy acceleration of like the business so far. I'm hoping that our business networking keeps working out. I hope that you keep growing like our monthly like
revenue,
our monthly like consistent revenue.
Consistent.
It's like monthly revenue is just an average of what we make. It's like that could be nothing. It's like that consistent stuff. I'm trying to work on some angles on my end. They're trying to put me, the people that we're working with next week are trying to put me in contact, hopefully, with someone who has that. That's all I need. I need one person.
Good client to be, hey, $5,000 a month, and we'll do all this. But it's going to be a steal because you need media to grow.
Yeah.
That's just where the day and age is.
Mm-hmm.
So give us that, and that's less than hiring someone full time.
Exactly.
And we make money.
Yeah, and our priority is quality. So it's just like you can hire some dudes who would just do it.
Yeah.
But it's like if you want to look good, you want to look nice, you want that
Yeah.
extra loving touch to it.
The little sauce on top, like woo.
Exactly. But man. Until next time, honestly, don't let social media lie to you. Running a business is hard.
And words from Kellis. You are not a failure. You're just not trying hard enough.
We're gonna end it like that.
Just like that. See you.